Zach, always good to talk to you. Last saw you here during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We were showing a little bit of video for this.
Fun.
And I am the guy who goes into the details and the questions. So let's just begin. I have to ask first and foremost, watching this, I have to ask, in your mind, what is the perfect amount of episodes to tell the Rebel Moon story currently in your mind, I guess?
The perfect amount of, so how many movies would it take to tell the entire story? Is that what you're asking me?
Or what you have right now. I'm not talking about George Lucas. I had a thought one day on while I was eating a bagel kind of thing. I'm talking like right now,
Yeah, no, what we got, I think what we have figured out might be, it depends on how much detail you put in each movie, but it's a few more chapters, to get Korra back to the mother world and fight Balsarius is a little bit more to do.
True enough. And I have to ask the question too. You're not announcing anything quite yet, right?
No,
Is
not
there
yet.
any announcements about? Okay.
No,
So just
nothing yet.
a hope and a prayer right now. So we'll keep that in our stocking.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the R-rated versions too,
yeah.
because anyone who watched this episode for sure can tell where the R-rated versions jump off for sure too. So what can fans expect when it comes to these R-rated versions? And how do you think it'll kind of change their mindset about even the characters or the world that they live in? Because when you add, I'm guessing, a lot more blood, things kind of become more real.
Yeah, weirdly, although I would say that the thing about the director's cuts is there's a lot more, there's more sex, more violence, as you can imagine. And then, they really boil down to also just the different, a lot of the drama is like different takes. We use different, it's a different, even a thing you would like go, why is that different? But because I think that the R-rated versions they're more over the top in every way. And so they're a little less earnest, weirdly. I think the PG-13s have a very earnest quality about them because they don't rely on the sort of stylized violence to make you aware that the world is stylized. They're less, I think the R-rateds are more of a comment on sci-fi, sort of the current state of sci-fi, than the PG-13s, which I think are more straightforward. So I think there's a lot, and there's just a ton of they're each an hour longer. It's so if you were to watch both movies together, it's 2 hours of additional material that you would get through. So it would be 6 hours of movie that you'd be seeing in addition. So it's a much different experience, and I can't wait for people to really go completely, because it's a just deeper dive, on everything.
And do you recommend people watch them back to back, or you recommend Intermission? Like you yourself, I'm sure have watched them a couple times over.
For sure, Intermission. I mean, it really depends on the person. When we release the director's cuts, we'll release them both on the same day, so that'll be like a different experience. You'll be able to just go for a 6-hour dive. So yeah, I do recommend taking a break, getting the legs, stretching the legs out, getting a pizza. I don't know however you do it. But yeah, it's fun. And now, by the way, the one thing I would also say is that on April 19th, when the part 2 comes out, now you'll have 1 and 2 available. So I think for me, it's important to kind of hit 1 and then hit 2 again, maybe again, just to kind of freshen it up, because you really want to go hot into movie 2, I think.
Right. So I have to ask too before I let you go. Any update on the Army of Dead universe? I'm in Vegas, so I have to ask.
I'm a huge advocate and fan of the Army of the Dead universe, and I think that let's see. I've encouraged them tremendously to let's go with another Army movie, and they love it. It's really just us getting a sort of a window in the Rebel Moon timeline to whack another Army of the Dead movie out. But I'm a big giant fan, so I would love to do it.
Well, I hope so. I don't want to, lost Vegas, as it were. So
yes, I agree.
We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you much. We look forward to the R-rated versions. We look forward to this version as well. And I look forward to the twinkle in your eye for more episodes to come.
Great.